So far in our discussion of a marginal analysis, all we've been doing is spending money. We've looked at cost functions and average cost functions, marginal cost, marginal average cost. Now it's time to start making some money. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start selling our products, our widgets, if you will. And revenue is pretty easy to calculate. We simply set a price for each item, and then our revenue is that price times the number of items we sell. And you can see I've indicated that little equation here. P times X. This lowercase p here stands for the price of a single item, the unit price. Now we've already studied demand equations, and so we know that the price often depends on the number of items produced. And so that P is actually a function of X. P equals F of X. We call that the demand equation. So most often we'll see our revenue equation written in those terms. Instead of P times X, you'll see X times F of X, as we've shown here. So our revenue function is simply X times F of X, where F of X is the demand equation. Now in the language of marginal analysis, we have marginal revenue, which is the amount of money obtained by the sale of an additional item. And just as with marginal cost, the marginal revenue function approximates the marginal revenue. So let's go ahead and see this in action. Our example 4 is, suppose that the unit price P of a widget has a demand equation, P equals negative 0.02x plus 400. Notice now we're back to making widgets again. Our task is to find the revenue function, R of X, the marginal revenue function, R prime of X, and we want to compute the marginal revenue for a production of 2,000. Remember, that means we're actually looking for the amount of money we're going to bring in if we sell that 2,001st widget. So let's start by figuring out the revenue function, R of X. To do that, we simply multiply X times P, which is F of X, negative 0.02x plus 400. We distribute the X, and we figure out that our revenue function is negative 0.02x squared plus 400x. Once you have the revenue function, this polynomial here, it's pretty easy to get the marginal revenue function. We take the derivative. And so we're going to use the power rule. We get negative 0.04x plus 400. And then finally, we're asked to compute the marginal revenue at a production level of 2,000. In other words, how much are we going to make if we sell the 2,000 first item? How much will we make on that particular? How much will we bring in? We're not making money yet. That's profit. So what we do is we plug 2,000 into the marginal revenue function right there for X. I've done the calculation, and it turns out that that value is 320. And so what this means is, if we sell the 2,001st item, we're going to bring in $320 for that particular item. Our rate of change at 2,000 is $320 per widget. Now, as you know, I already mentioned a profit, and so that's what the next video will be concerned with. We've spent money, we're bringing in money. How do we know when we're actually making money? For that, we need to talk about marginal profit.